Friday. We are now into U18 men's action. Ontario, the Nova Scotia Keltics, and Ontario kicks off the Nova Scotia, and we are underway, and that took about 2 seconds for a whistle.
Yeah, penalty right away. Referee setting the standard early. High tackle from Ontario. Nova Scotia will kick the touch and restart with a lineout.
So Ontario wearing the blue with white trim kits. Nova Scotia, the Keltics, wearing the blue with gold and white on their kits. Ontario going left to right to start the game. Nova Scotia right to left. The winner of this one advances to play for gold on Sunday. The U18 men, the last to be decided here in terms of who will play for gold. Can the Keltics keep the roll going here on this field? We've seen the two Keltics women's sides, U18, U16, both win and advance to play for gold. Can the Keltics on the men's U18 side make it 3 for 3 on field one? I'm Scott Squires, my broadcast partner. Joining me once again is Gino Carew, and we've got an Ontario player down behind the play. Meanwhile, and well, as the whistle blows, that Ontario player, that's number 5, Taylor Road.
Yeah, it looks like his shoulder may have just popped out there. He's definitely in some discomfort. Here comes the physio.
So the bumps and bruises start to accumulate as the weeks go on, or as the week goes on, I should say. And sometimes it can be a case where it's not that it was such a big hit, but you might have taken a stinger or two in that same shoulder earlier in the week, and then it's a little hit or something that kind of pushes it over the edge. Again, when you play so much rugby in a short amount of time, sometimes it can be an accumulation of things that ends up being the downfall when it comes to a potential injury.
Yeah, they'll take a look at him, make sure he's all right here.
So while we have a moment, how about some of the games we've had here today, Gino? We've had, honestly, some heart-stopping action. We've had a couple of games, quite honestly, come down to the last second for a game to be decided. We just saw a game with Eastern Ontario getting a try late with a convert to pull ahead by 2 and to hang on in the last couple against Ontario. What a day of rugby. How you enjoying yourself?
No, it's been great. We've all the games have been highly competitive. Some last minute heroics on different sides. So we've had 1-point games and 2-point games and back and forth affairs. Definitely a semifinal. All semifinals so far have been very well played. So it's good to see.
And as I mentioned, it's been a pretty good day for the province that is hosting the Eastern Nationals. The Keltics women's side, U18, U16, both advancing to play for gold. So both of those teams will do no worse than a silver medal in second place at an Eastern Nationals. Not bad. No,
it's good to see. The teams have come together well. The U18 women had a huge fight back there, down a man for 35 minutes and down 10 points, and come back to win 19-17 on the last try in the last play of the game, and then had hit the conversion to win. So that was a huge win for them. Now,
if you weren't with us earlier, what Gino is referring to is the Nova Scotia Keltics U18 side. Early in that game, lost Maddie Haroon to a yellow card, as we see number 5, Taylor Road, get up with a round of applause from the crowd. So we wish him well, hope he'll be okay. But getting back to that women's game, Maddie Haroon went out early with a red card for a high tackle. She missed she did miss the majority of that game because that call came pretty early on. When now will there be a meeting to determine her availability for the gold medal game?
Sure, there'll be a disciplinary hearing this evening at 7:30, so that'll sort itself out at that point.
Okay. So I'm sure Nova Scotia, the Keltics, the U18 squad will be fingers crossed, hoping that Maddie available for that game, although this Keltic showed that they can regroup and push forward. But again, I know that Maddie will want to be there for sure. So that kick goes out for touch.
Yeah, good attacking spot here in the lineout. Spot for a lineout from the Keltics. Looks like they're going to try and drive this. Ontario pulling it down. Referee's playing advantage.
Keltics work it over toward the middle. And a lot of physical play early on here.
Yeah, he's bringing it back for where they collapsed the driving maul that was created off that line out. So Another good spot.
We're just past 4:30 in the afternoon here in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. That's Atlantic time, of course. Our 7th game on the day. This semifinal Friday. We've got one more to go after this one. And that will be, again, U18 action, Newfoundland and Labrador and Prince Edward Island. So that should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, no, it should be a good game. They've played a couple of close games both here and at the Eastern Nationals, or Eastern Canadians earlier this year, which are now called the Atlantics. I'll correct myself. So that the Atlantics, they had some kind of competitive games, so it'll be a good match to see later on. Nova Scotia lost that lineup, but has regained it off a kick from Ontario.
Nice pass ahead there. James Davey was in the middle of it.
Yeah, James Davey taking that ball on.
I just had a chat with someone from Rugby Canada earlier, asked if they could mention to the uniform supplier to perhaps put a mandate in to not allow the same color number on the same color hoops.
Well,
just a selfish play-by-play guy.
The person to talk to that would be Jack Henrat. He actually selects our jerseys and our numbers. So it's all about the fashion itself, not about your ability to see the numbers. So.
On the flip side, I must compliment the Ontario side for their lovely dark blue with their pristine white numbers on the back. Always a running joke with the play-by-play guys about being able to see numbers on jerseys, not just in rugby. My favorite, I think, was a number of years ago. I did a playoff game at Halifax. The Mooseheads were playing the Val d'Or Foreur, and Val d'Or had black jerseys with dark forest green numbers that were almost black. And I'm pretty sure that I didn't actually say a Val d'Or player's name the entire game.
Unfortunate. Looks like we have a Keltics player going off with an injury right now.
So trying to catch the number as he walks off the field. So that's a player from each side now that's kind of caught the injury bug here early in this one. We're about 7 minutes into this first half. No score. Keltics and Ontario. A trip to the gold medal on Sunday to be given at the end of this one.
Yeah, looks like that's Ben Lohr who went off, number 7.
So hopefully Ben will be okay. Keep an eye to see if we get Ben back on the field, as well as Taylor Road for Ontario. Here comes Ontario now. Tackle at the sideline.
Good tackle, just taking the man out of
Alex Otto, and I think you mentioned him before that he does a good job of tackling. Not in this game, but in a previous Keltics game.
Yeah, Otto's he's been good. He was on the U18 tour to Ireland. He's an experienced player. Goes to King's Edge Hill School, not too far from here, near Windsor.
That ball spun over there by Justin McClellan. Ball goes down to ground. And before any kind of ruck can form, penalty against Nova Scotia.
Yeah, against Eastern Ontario.
Oh,
offside.
sorry, against Eastern Ontario.
Offside again at the ruck. They just seem to be trying to slam as many bodies in there as they can quickly, trying to either poach that ball or slow it down, and the referee's having none of it this afternoon.
That ball kicked out to touch, just, well, very close to that 22-meter mark. Almost right at it, actually. So the throw-in will be Dawson Legier for Nova Scotia. See if they can get something off this set piece. Off the fingertips, but controlled. Good job by Nova Scotia to stay with that off the line out.
Yeah, he's just good drive there, good recognition to take that ball straight up.
Now they'll spin it out. Good pass to the outside. Nice recovery by Ontario, though, to get there to make the tackle.
Yeah, defense is structured.
Nova Scotia will look now to bring it wide to the other side.
Yeah, Davies taking that ball onto the line. James not normally the 10 for Nova Scotia, but nice right to the touch line and bundled in the touch just before the try line there.
Yeah, that ball kind of squirted out and came bouncing over toward the sideline. Nova Scotia got there quickly to pick it up. So almost 10 minutes into this first half, both teams have been kind of holding each other up. This is probably the closest that either side has come to being into the other's end zone.
Yeah, most of the plays been in the Ontario half, I would say. But again, Nova Scotia not turning that pressure into points. So little driving maul here from Ontario, moving that ball out from their near their goal line.
Right in the middle of it is Adam Ford. You can hear him from here.
Yeah, you see the referee playing advantage now.
Picked up.
Yeah.
And that ball into the scaffolding.
Decided no advantage was gained. He'll give Ontario a penalty.
No score in this men's semifinal. Nova Scotia Celtics and Team Ontario locked in a scoreless battle here. And again, they must be trying to get that ball up to our technical producer and camera operator, Brian. He's been up there all day. He's got an umbrella over him now to protect him from the sun, but that's the last couple that have gone over into his scaffolding there. Might have to get a jersey for Brian, throw him on the field. Line out for Ontario. Taken well. Throwing in that line out was Ben Mowbray.
Another penalty here against Nova Scotia, playing the man in the air. Can't contact that man until he gets his feet are back on the ground. So Ontario will have a chance to put this ball a little further up the field and start again. This one's for us.
This one is for us. They must have felt like we were being left out, Gino, as that ball goes out to touch right behind our broadcast position. So you don't often see it in rugby, but it's almost like these two teams trying to feel each other out, see where their weaknesses are, see what things they can exploit, and what they can use to their advantage. Ontario now straight into the pile. Go ahead running right there. Head down, straight up. Now they'll spin it outside. Trying to take it down the far sideline. Good tackle on the far side by Nova Scotia. But Ontario get it out and up. Good run here. That was Aiden McLean. Now they work it to the wing. Taking a cut inside was Tegan Meisner. They work it quickly.
Big hit by Davies.
Sebastian Costa carried it there, took that big hit. And big hits all over the field. These players not holding back at all. If they're going to hit somebody, they're making sure you're going to know you were hit. Working our way toward the halfway point of this half. Hasn't been any kind of real scoring threat from either side yet.
Yeah, where you have an advantage being played for Ontario here for a high tackle where the man picked the ball up and dove down at the ankles. It's always going to be high at that point. So unfortunate, but again, no contact with the head tolerated. So it's awful difficult to tackle someone who's leading head first towards your feet when
very hard to
you're
avoid.
Standing there. So it's a difficult one. We'll see what happens here.
So Ontario down in, and they're in for the try. So after about 13 and a half minutes of stalemate between these two sides, it's Ontario who get one over, and they take the lead by a score of 5-0. So it took almost 15 minutes, but one of the teams, and it's Ontario, have broken through.
Yeah, no, that was good. Some good control. They went pick and go for a bit, just build through the faces, and were able to punch one through.
So the teams will get a drink of water here. They'll regroup while we wait for Ontario to kick their convert try. Calvin Fogler will try to get this kick lined up. this to make it a 7-point lead. Step back, 2 steps over. Looks like Nova Scotia going to rush a couple here. Nope, they'll just let it chip up and over. So 7 points on the board. Keltics get out, or excuse me, the Ontario side get out to the first lead, 7-0. Keltics now got work to do. They'll have to kick the ball away to Ontario. And for the first time in the game, points have been scored.
Yeah, they have some, they want to try and regain possession off this. I'm trying to put Ontario back under pressure. That's the first trip into the end goal by, first trip into the Celtics half by Ontario, and they were able to turn their pressure into points. Not so for the Celtics earlier. So referees adjudged that one went back, so no knock on. Ontario clearing the men well past the ruck. Wonder if the referee will pick up on that in a little bit.
Ooh, taking a hit up around the face there was Tegan Meisner as he went down to ground. Totally unintentional, but he did take a shot to the face, but he's up and okay. Play carries back to the middle side of the, or middle part of the pitch. And now to the other side, and the play
little
whistled.
Knock on there. On the scrum down Nova Scotia ball.
I still shake my head in wonderment sometimes when I see some of the shots that these rugby players take, and they just pop back right up, shake the head, and they keep on going. You know what? It's fair to say rugby players are tough. No comment from Gino as he laughs and says, well, of course they are.
Yeah, no, that's part of the game. They just get up onto the next play. So
unofficially, about 3 minutes left in this first half. 7 points on the board. They belong to Ontario now, but here come the Celtics. See what they can do with it. That's a nice move and a good run. This is a great run, and it's called back.
Oof. All right, forward pass called by the match official.
And
come back for a scrum for Ontario.
You could see a couple of the Nova Scotia players, in particular, Evan Borden, just kind of put the hands on the head and go, ugh, can't believe it.
Yeah, that's a toughie. Good angle. Unfortunate the pass just drifted forward, so we'll have a scrum down Ontario ball.
Said it all day long. In each of the games that we've seen here, I got the feeling this is shaping up to be a tight one right down to the last minutes. And there's the set. You'll see the push. Ball in. And there you see that scrum starting to move just a little bit. Not too much, though, and it's Ontario who get it out of there, and they'll work it down that far sideline. Another good run. Here we go. Ontario trying to break away. Nova Scotia trying to get back and track it defensively, and they do a good job of clogging it up over on that far sideline. So that's good recovery on the defensive side for Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it was good good fight back, and good job winning that penalty. Ontario penalized for holding on.
So this Nova Scotia possession now, they'll look to kick this out for touch. And it goes out close to midfield.
Yeah.
Almost right at midfield by where the flag is placed. So throw in here for the Celtics. Time winding down in this first half. Not much of it left, maybe a little over a minute.
It's a good take in the line out and recognizing there's no one in front of him. He just took the ball forward. Step by Davies. Support a little slow getting there. Ball slow coming back.
There's a quick pass over. Now let's see the Celtics. Well, they got a couple of passes away, and then they decided to turn it upfield. Picked off the ground again. Good job by McClellan getting in there quickly to move the ball. It would be wonderful for the Celtics if they could get a late score here.
Yeah,
Terry's obviously going to try to prevent that, and the play whistled again.
Okay. Celtics player penalized for going off his feet.
Callum Robson, slow to peel himself off the turf there. And I know this is U18, but some of these players look like they're in their mid-20s. Got the full beards going. So now Ontario will look to kick it out to touch themselves, and they do, and it's just in front of us here. So not a bad kick for Ontario. They'll take the set-piece line out. And Ben Mowbray, as he comes over to take this throw-in, got the little gash across the front of his nose.
Yeah, it looks like a little road rash almost.
All the way back, well taken. But a bobble there.
Yeah, little knock on. See if Nova Scotia can take advantage.
And there is Robson. McClellan gets it quickly over. Davey moves it along the line. So my clock says we're at full time, so we're on referee's time now. Celtics, can they get some kind of magic here in the waning seconds of this first half? They trail by 7. Davey gets it off there to Furnell. Furnell gets a knee to the head for his trouble. On the ground, McClellan looks left, goes right.
Good run there by Dawson Legier. Pounding it up.
Some big lads up front here for Nova Scotia. And now
Furnell.
Here is Furnell. He's one of them. Furnell bowls over his man.
Just trucks him, unable to keep his feet, unfortunately.
I'll bring it back the other way. Long pass across by Davey.
Oh, that's a dangerous pass, but well taken in the end by the Celtics player.
Well into added time. By my count, we've played 22 minutes in this first half. Scheduled for 20, but the referee has final say.
Yeah, and unlike other game sports, it's not going to stop until the referee blows his whistle. So they could play for another 7-8 minutes if they could do it without having a whistle. So
nice little juke move there by Alex Otto. Now getting some support from behind.
So no clear release from the Ontario player, penalized there. Nova Scotia may try to pound this ball down in the corner and see if they can attack from a line up closer to the Ontario goal line.
So McClellan kicks that over to the other field, adjacent to field 1 here at the Dykes field location. Scott Squires and Gino Carew with you. It's our 7th game of the day. One more to come after this one. It's been a wonderful semifinal Friday. That line out, over everybody, and then play whistled.
Wasn't straight, unfortunately. Gonna have a scrum. Looks like the referees told them it's going to be the last play.
So a little added pressure for the Celtics as they know they've got to make something happen out of this scrum. Ontario looking to stop everything here and go to the half with the 7-point lead. Ontario controls out of it.
Little pinch there by the outside back of Nova Scotia, left that man unmarked, but well covered in the end.
Ontario with control. MacArthur gets taken down, but it's picked off the ground by Alex Cool. Ontario continues to come forward. McLean gets tackled.
No clear release again by Nova Scotia, penalized.
That'll go out for touch.
A little bit of a shank there. I'm sure he'd like to have that one further up the field.
So the ball at midfield. So we're 5 minutes beyond the 20-minute scheduled half. But again, referee just makes the decision on when they stop, and they'll keep playing to the whistle. Oh, that's stolen away smartly there by Nova Scotia. Now, can they do something with it? Into the pile goes Joe McDonald. Trying to get some help from behind. They get that ball out. Nice step around by Davey. Davey jumps over another tackler. Look at Davey go. Tries to offload it back. I think that might have got knocked ahead, and then it's kicked down the field. And the referee stops play, and that is half. So a bit of a scrappy half that sees Ontario take a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of back and forth. There hasn't been a lot of play in either half, mostly around the midfield. So everything's still to play for in the second half.
So we'll take a slight break. Second half action coming up. This men's U18 semifinal being led by Ontario over Nova Scotia. Your score, 7-0. We'll be back.
Checked in at the thing. Or find an Ontario person if that's who's playing.
Okie dokie.
Back we go. Second half action. A trip to the gold medal game on the line. It's a tight one, Gino. Only 7 points on the board. For the Celtics, from what you've seen, what adjustments might they need to make here in the second half to maybe try to get something going offensively?
Yeah, they just seem a little stagnant, a little flat. The ball's a little slow coming out, so they need to get some quick, clean ball. They do have some good runners in this backfield, so be interesting to see. This is a nice attacking platform for them here. See if they can do something with this possession.
Oh, big hit there, running right into it.
That was Davey again,
Davey
taking that ball on.
He's played well for Nova Scotia in this game so far, 10 in blue and gold.
Yeah, not normally a 10, but he's playing there, so at a necessity. Oh, good run there by Farnell.
Great pass, great run. Look at the Celtics. What a great start
Just
here.
on the goal line here. This ball needs to go quick.
They've got some opening in the corner.
Resettled. They have some big boys out there. There's a little ball here. Looks like it's going to Farnell again.
There it is, Cam Farnell.
He's on the ground. Tacklers after release.
They get it back up. McClellan.
Takes it on his own. Good decision from the scrum half.
And he gets it in. Justin McClellan opens up the second half in stylish fashion for Nova Scotia as they come out, and in just a little over a minute of game time, they get their first points. They're on the board, and they'll have a pretty good look at the goalpost for the conversion.
Yeah, the big run there by Mike McEachran in the middle of that. Big red, they call him there. He had a nice ball carry to set up that go forward, and then again by Cam Farnell. So the big ball carriers. Nova Scotia a little physically larger than this Ontario side, so using that size well in that last round of possession. So, and then a nice job by Justin to notice the gap there and just take it on his own.
Well, I guess these two teams have seen all the other close games here on this field today, and they didn't want to be left out.
No, definitely not. There's still another, 17, 18 minutes to go here. So I think we're in for a barn burner to finish off this one too.
McClellan takes a long look, just a slight breeze, nothing that should really hamper the kick from McClellan. And this kick from McClellan, as he lines it up, takes a good long look, and this to tie. It's up.
No, didn't quite get the curl. Just
Close.
let it around the bar there, unfortunate.
Well, he certainly had the height and the distance, but just couldn't, as you said, curl it inside that right upright.
Yeah,
So
that wind in his face might not have played it quite right, but good strike of the ball, and I'm sure they'll be down trying to want to get back down on that end right away off this kickoff. See if they can get possession and get right back down there.
So that ball taken well. Not always easy to handle those kickoffs after you've scored. It's important to control them. Nova Scotia does, and this allows them now to continue the momentum. And there's Big Red. You hear the fans even yelling out, "Go Big Red." So Nova Scotia now uses the kicking game, and that was one heck of a boot, but it's going to be for naught.
Going to bring it back offside against Ontario. So Davies, I think, knew he had the advantage there. Thought he'd put one up and see where it went.
Interesting as well. A lot of times we'll hear conversations from the assistant referee, like the ref on the sideline. A lot of times they're almost helping the players in the back line, making sure they're lined up in the right place. It's kind of neat to see that conversation that goes on.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that they don't have, no one wants to give away a cheap penalty or anything along those lines. It's a great kick by McClellan.
The fans enjoy it. Knowledgeable rugby fans here.
Yeah, this is a great attacking platform here now for the Celtics. See what they can do with this one. If they line out inside the 22, about 15 meters from the Ontario goal line.
Now, sometimes it's hard to know if it's just the flow of the game or if it actually is adjustments, but a very different-looking Celtics team attacking Ontario here early in the second half. I don't know what adjustments or what things might have been said at the halftime, But certainly the Celtics getting much better advantage over the Ontario side early in this second half.
Yeah, it looks like they've just kind of widened their pods out. Instead of attacking closer to the ruck, they're spreading things out a little wider and matching their big bodies up on the small bodies, just like that.
Look at this. And in short order, Nova Scotia has come out here in the second half in the first 5 minutes of play and have taken the game to Ontario. Ontario a little shell-shocked right now. They are on their heels as the Celtics have just come out here. And whatever it is they've done, you mentioned widening it out, spreading the defense, but it's worked. And you just saw big Cam Farnell plowed into the end zone, and he was excited when he got up. The fans are excited. And the Celtics have jumped into the lead. They have just been on fire here, and Ontario hasn't had an answer for them in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, just a slight adjustment on where they're attacking. So just moving those pods a little further out, getting big bodies on small bodies definitely has paid some dividends early on here for the Celtics.
So McClellan, similar position last time, so maybe that first kick will help him make a slight adjustment on this one. The last one had plenty of distance, plenty of height. It just went a little bit to the right of that right upright. So here we go. Nova Scotia looking to extend the lead to 5 points. McClellan visualizing. You see him looking at the goalpost, back at the ball. He is seeing this ball go through. McClellan just scored. Just helped Farnell score, I should say. Looking to tack on 2 more. Can he hook it over? This one looks better. And the flag is up. So McClellan, a beautifully struck ball from the right sideline, and that has put Nova Scotia up by 5.
Yep, made the adjustment on that kick, so definitely just inside the post. So excellent kick. Good work there from the scrum half.
Well, I'll tell you, so important to be able to have a quality kicking game. We've seen so many games today that have been decided by 1 or 2 points, the difference being a missed convert or a missed penalty kick. When you can have somebody make that kind of, when someone make that kind of a strike to get a convert, those kind of things can boost your squad as well.
No, for sure. You definitely want to take all those points that you can.
So the Celtics get the ball back. Right now they've got Ontario on their heels.
Looks like a knock on there by the Celtics in the tackle. So I was scrum down Ontario ball.
12-7 is your score. Nova Scotia has come out here and scored 12 unanswered in the first 7.5 minutes of this second half to take that 12-7 lead.
Yeah, we've got Neil Trainer down. He blocked that last kick. He took that ball right in the gut. I think he's just trying to get his wind back.
And he's stretching out there, got the arms up over the head, opening up the airwaves, and takes a big suck of wind, and he's back up. So Trainer got some assistance from the trainer, and he's back on the field. So Nova Scotia, for the first time, playing with the lead. Ontario scrum on the Nova Scotia side of the pitch. Taking it out of there was Aiden St. Marie. Ontario works it down to that far side. See if they can find some luck on that right sideline.
Yeah, it was one of the Ontario 24s with a good run. There are 2 of them out there, so unfortunately we're not sure who is who, but that was a good aggressive run there. Ontario going to the pick and drive game here right now, just trying to suck in that Celtics defense, maybe make some room outside for their backs.
Yeah, and just want to slow this Celtics momentum down a little bit, so if Ontario can get a few minutes of possession here to kind of take the wind out of the sails of the Nova Scotia offense, that's only going to help them as well. And if they can score, which they do. So Ontario, who were basically dominated for about the first 8 minutes of this half, answer back pretty quickly after the Farnell try for Nova Scotia.
Yeah, we can see the adjustment Ontario's made. They've gone to a pick and go game here, just trying to suck that Celtics defense in. The Celtics were really a little concerned about the Ontario outside back, so trying to stay out there and not enough players in tight, and Ontario's able to drive that over.
So now we are tied at 12 all. You talk about the kicking game and the importance of it. A chance now for Ontario, if they can make this kick, they can take the lead. So a good answer back by Ontario, and as they walk past us here, you can hear them chattering amongst themselves, lifting one another up, saying, okay, let's go, boys, let's go.
Yeah, I'm sure that did a lot to reverse that early momentum that the Celtics had built this half, so this kick is an important one.
Getting a good look at Aiden McLean there, looked over towards some of the fans that he must recognize, gave him a big grin. They rushed the kicker. That is chipped up. Well struck, and it's through. So the kicking game again coming to the forefront. This time it's Ontario who get the beautiful strike on the conversion attempt, and now Ontario catapults into the lead. Now it's 14-12. Ontario in front.
Yeah, we're in for a good ending to this.
So now let's see if Nova Scotia can come up with some kind of tricky kick here to force a bobble by Ontario on the kickoff. Ontario, of course, will want to secure it, keep possession, keep the pressure on. Oh, and just hanging on to it there, bounced off his chest. And that looked to be a high tackle as Reese Gutierrez ran into one, but the play carries on. Gutierrez, slow to get up, but he's peeled himself off the turf.
Yeah, they're not sure. I don't know if they have a number on that one, but it was definitely a high.
Back up the field now.
Here's our mystery 24 again with another big run across the field.
Now, oh, and a big collision there. Running into his man, Aiden McLean. What a collision with Ethan McCarthy.
Yeah, good job by McCarthy to hold on to that one. I'm shocked. He did a great job to keep his hand on that. And it looks like it's Aiden McLean who's down.
My goodness, where we are located here, we are at field level and just about 20 meters to the right of midfield on the Ontario side of the field in this particular case, but you could hear the collision from here. Those two players, I mean, it was a good, clean collision, but you could hear the smack from here.
No, definitely.
So Aiden McLean, here you see him in the middle of your picture, getting some attention, and my goodness. If that were me, you'd be carting me off with a stretcher, I'd be done. There'd be nothing left of me after that collision, my goodness. So McLean, he'll hang in there, and you're absolutely right. I mean, Ethan McCarthy did a good job just to absorb that hit and hang on. A couple of big bodies coming together there.
So we're going to have a scrum down Ontario ball.
It's a 2-point lead for Ontario in this U18 men's semifinal. We're down to the final four in terms of challenging for the gold medal. And the first two of those four playing right here. Referee says, nope, do it again. So this 24 I know is Aiden St. Marie because they've got him down as the fly half. I'm just going to make that wild guess. So St. Marie digs it out. Serves that pass lovely on a platter over to the side. Here's McLean.
Knock that one on. Celtics try and take advantage here.
Alex Otto. Or sorry, that was Ethan McCarthy. Nova Scotia with possession. They'll be happy with that because they need to get down. They need to get points. Celtics pass that ball to the outside. They'll try it down the left wing side now. Ontario trying to recover quickly and regroup on defense. And the play stopped.
Going to come back for the knock on. So a scrum down, Celtics ball.
So getting down into the last few minutes of this first half. Now we haven't had the situation yet, and I don't even know if I want to say the word, but what's the situation if the game ends after regulation, after full time, and it's tied?
So in these playoff matches, they play 2 5-minute periods, non-sudden death. If it's still tied after that, then we go to sudden victory. So they play 5-minute periods for sudden victory. They only play one game today, so they do have up to 90 minutes of playing time.
Okay.
So we have plenty of time left after the end of regulation if necessary.
We haven't had a tie situation yet. We've come close a couple of times, but the way this one is going, worth mentioning that just to get those particulars out of the way. Alex Cool with a good run over there.
Good take of that kick and good run.
Now we'll see what Ontario can do working through their phases now. Can they get possession? Can they keep the ball away from Nova Scotia?
Ontario's advantage right now. Knock on, he's going to go back for the penalty.
What an absolutely gorgeous day it has been here. I want to thank the universe for bringing us such a glorious day when we had 8 consecutive games to go back to back. Makes it a little easier when the sun is shining and there's a nice cool breeze. It has been a glorious day, certainly on the field, but weather-wise as well here in the Annapolis Valley as we're in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. This is U18 men's semifinal action. Ontario currently leading Nova Scotia by a score of 14-12. And we've got a delay here. I'm not sure what the reason is.
The referee just asked the captain to go in, and he said the last 2 have been for high tackles. Doesn't want to see anything remotely like that. The captain asked for a minute to talk to his team and tell them. So just a little game management there. Clock was off, so Ontario going to clear to touch. Look to start with the lineout. Didn't quite make touch. I think Nova Scotia may have recovered this.
I think they did over on the far side. So now it's the Celtics who, off that kick that did not go out for touch, they get the ball back. See what they can do with it. And there's pushing ahead. That was Mike McGilvery, I think. Or might have been McEachern, Big Red.
Yeah, it was McEachern. Another little kick. Celtics gone to the kick the last few times. I'm not sure if that's their best option right now. I know Ontario's rushing up with defense, but not the most cultured of boot on our fly half, so they may have to figure another way around that.
So it'll be a line out for Ontario. Ben Mowbray. He'll throw it in here. Taken quick, taken well. And Ontario will start back the other way. Now they'll pass it off to the side. Mowbray again. Celtics recover well.
Well done by the Celtics. First man over. Won the penalty.
So Nova Scotia having to pull out all the stops here. Just a couple of minutes till the end of this game. We're almost at the 20-minute mark, but of course the referee will add on just a little bit. So this kick, and it goes out for touch.
Celtics will look to attack in here now that they're inside the Ontario half. Just overthrown, but well taken by...
And there's McCarthy again.
McEachern.
Yeah. Celtics got to get it down. They need points. They're only down by 2. Holding it on the ground there was Legier for a moment. But look who's got that ball. Davey, what a game he's had for the Celtics.
Yeah, I like to see him running with ball in hand as opposed to choosing that kicking option. So it's a good run by him.
Davey getting some good ground now. Here they come again.
Farnell.
It's McEachern.
Oh, just knocked that ball on in contact, unfortunately.
And Ontario clapping the hands. That is a big turnover right there.
Yeah, that one hurts. He was trucking for that goal line. He split those 2 players and just lost that ball forward, unfortunately.
Aiden St. Marie to put this in for Ontario in this scrum. If Nova Scotia can somehow find a way to steal this out of there, that would be huge. It's still tied up.
Can't push them over, unfortunately. Have to just attempt to disrupt. Ontario looking to clear here. Oh, that's not bad for the Celtics. That's you know, they're gonna have an attacking platform 15 meters from the goal line. I'm sure they take that. That'll be nice. That's the best result that they could have hoped for from that, I think. So have they're putting at the line out. Their last two have been a little bit sloppy, so let's see if they can connect with a good one. And again, sloppy.
Yeah, that went over the top of everybody and bounced towards Ontario. They'll take it.
Yeah, it was just batted back by Ontario. They got a hand to it. So
Trainer had it for a minute, and they'll do it again. And I think that is it. That is game. So the ball kicked out of bounds, and before the ball even crossed the line, the referee had blown the whistle. So that is, I think there's a little bit of confusion on the field. I'm not sure, but it does appear that the referee has blown the whistle barely. I've just got us just past full time in terms of the 20 minutes. So nothing really added on at all for added time. A valiant effort. You see the Celtics right there gathered in a circle talking this one over. They're going to have to regroup. They've got a bronze medal to play for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We definitely had stoppages in the second half. So interesting run of the clock. So yeah, we shall see. The Celtics have to regroup and come back tomorrow in the bronze medal game. We'll see who they play with the result of this Newfoundland PEI game that's coming up next.
So it will be Ontario, and as you said, they will play either Newfoundland and Labrador or Prince Edward Island. Ontario celebrates, and full marks to Ontario. You know, they're playing in Nova Scotia, even though this is an Eastern tournament. It's technically a home game for Nova Scotia. They had a lot of fans on their side. Nova Scotia gave Ontario all they could handle. This game, honestly, could have gone either way, but another close game on this field today, on this semifinal Saturday. Your final, Ontario defeats Nova Scotia 14-12. The teams shake hands. This U18 semifinal is done, and Ontario moving on to play for gold. One game left today. It'll be in just a couple of minutes. Newfoundland and Labrador, PEI, to wrap up semifinal Friday. We'll be back.